Me and my entire crew are out here in southwest Montana doing something really fun today. We pick projects where we go out and work for a day. And this one is an antelope fence mitigation project. There are antelope that migrate almost 100 miles between, well, just down there and all the way out here. And they repeat this every season. But one of the problems with pronghorn is they didn't evolve with fences. And we see elk jump fences, we see mule deer jump fences. Pronghorn can't do that. Very rarely you'll see a pronghorn jump a fence. Usually they go under them. Well, back in the day, a long time ago, when nobody understood the consequences of what type of fence an antelope needs, we have these multi-strand, in this case I think this is a 7-strand barbed wire fence. So you get this much snow on the ground, and an antelope trying to get underneath that, it just either disrupts their migration pattern or they get tangled up in those fences, and in many cases it ends up taking a lot of the hide and injuring them when they're going under those fences, and they don't make the winter, some of them.
We're finding that just in a recent study of movement from this area, Horse Prairie, to Mount Haggin area, it's about a fence every 1.5 miles.
1.5 miles?
Yeah.
It's like 80 miles there.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
So that's
over upwards
60 fences.
Yeah.
Or 55 fences.
Yeah. Modifying that bottom wire is really important for the pronghorn, and you know, it helps them get through and uninjured, but it also allows them to access their preferred habitat. Yeah. And it has other benefits for other species as well. So juvenile elk, juvenile mule deer have trouble. You know, they're also needing to crawl under fences as opposed to the adults jumping over.
And we're gonna go pull all the barbed wire, and then they have a fencing contractor who's gonna come back in and install wildlife-friendly fence.
This summer we're looking to get done 10 miles. Yeah, that's either remove and replace with wildlife-friendly or modify the bottom, and in some areas we'll be modifying the top strand as well, with the bottom at 16 or 18 inches and the top at 42 inches. Okay. And that seems to allow for passage underneath and over. So, and I would say too that it's you know, locally adaptable. So in some areas that type of fence is, you know, perfectly fine for the rancher's needs, but in other areas where there may be calves or a road, you know, he may need to adapt and have different fences. But it seems like over a given ranch we can, you know, find areas that type of fence is suitable there, and wildlife use those areas as well.
Right, they figure it out.
Yeah.
Where does the funding for something like this come from?
Yeah, so this funding is from the National Fish and Wildlife Foundation, which is a grant through for 3 years for this project, working from Horse Prairie up into the Big Hole. So.
And then your group, National Wildlife Federation, you guys are helping coordinate that with the U.S. Fish and Wildlife Service and the landowners. And,
exactly.
I mean, it's not like you just show up and tell a landowner, hey, guess what, we're gonna fix your fence.
Yeah. No.
You gotta, I mean, it's complicated.
Yeah, and I'd say that's really the beauty of what we have going on down here is just a really good partnerships. You know, it's not about telling ranchers that they have the wrong type of fence. The way I look at it is there's an opportunity. You know, there's a lot of people that care about these wildlife resources, and so if we can come together to cost share and, you know, get boots on the ground and help from folks like you, to do the labor is expensive. So if we can put those pieces together with all the different partners involved, you know, we can have truly a win-win for wildlife.
Yeah, and I often say that the beauty of Montana in a state that's 2/3 private is partly because we have such amazing private land stewards. So we're lucky that a landowner here says, yeah, come and do whatever you can for wildlife. They care about, like you said, they care about the resource as much as we do. And if it doesn't impose on their operation and better for wildlife, it's better for everybody.
If you're interested in getting involved, you can find your state wildlife federation here in Montana. It's the Montana Wildlife Federation, and they're always looking for volunteers to do projects like this and to get involved for wildlife.
And there's a group that we're a part of, that we're members of, called 2% for Conservation. And they coordinate, and I think this year they've helped coordinate a bunch of volunteers for you guys to come out here. Yep. So if you wanna somehow, someday, in some way help and come out on a project like this, I would go to the website. We'll put the link right down here, fishandwildlife.org. That's the website for 2% for Conservation. And they coordinate a lot of these projects in a lot of places. So go to the link down below, click it, go sign up, and hopefully you'll find a place where you can volunteer your time, your talent, whatever it might be, and wildlife will be the beneficiary.